Mr. President,
Majority Leader.
I ask unanimous consent the quorum be dispensed with.
Without objection.
And just a word about the history-making nomination that was just approved by the Senate. We've now made history twice in the last few minutes. We've made history twice because we've nominated the first Native American Secretary of the Interior and the first Native American cabinet official in American history. The confirmation of Deb Haaland is amazing. It's a huge step forward. And now it creates a government that more embodies the full richness and diversity of this country. We know for so long the Native American community was treated badly, and we have a long way to go. But we have begun with the ARP, and now with the approval of Deb Haaland to be the Secretary of the Interior, we are moving forward, and she will do a great job as Interior Secretary. She represents a turnaround because the Trump administration did more to undermine the relationship between the federal government and tribes that have been done in a long time. Deb Haaland will reverse that and move much further along. So we're proud of what the Senate has done. Now, Mr. President, I ask unanimous consent that the motion to be reconsidered be considered made and laid upon the table, and the President be immediately notified of the Senate's actions.
Without objection.
I move to proceed to legislative session.
The question is on the motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those no. The ayes appear to have it. Ayes do have it. Motion is agreed to.
I move to proceed to executive session to consider calendar number 37.
The question is on the motion. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes have it. The motion is agreed to. The clerk will report the nomination.
Nomination, Department of Health and Human Services, Javier Becerra of California to be Secretary.
I send a cloture motion to the desk.
The clerk will report the motion to invoke cloture.
Cloture motion, we the undersigned senators, in accordance with the provisions of Rule 22 of the Standing Rules of the Senate, do hereby move to bring to a close the debate on the nomination of Executive Calendar Number 37, Javier Becerra of California to be Secretary of Health and Human Services, signed by 18 senators as follows.
I ask consent the reading of the names be waived.
Without objection.
Mr. President, I move to proceed to legislative session.
The question is on the motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes have it. Motion is agreed to.
I move to proceed to executive session to consider calendar number 17.
Question is on the motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes have it. The motion is agreed to. Clerk will report.
Nomination, Department of Labor, Martin Joseph Walsh of Massachusetts to be Secretary.
I send a cloture motion to the desk.
The clerk will report the motion to the vote cloture.
Cloture motion, we the undersigned senators, in accordance with the provisions of Rule 22 of the Standing Rules of the Senate, do hereby move to bring to a close the debate on the nomination of Executive Calendar Number 17, Martin Joseph Walsh of Massachusetts to be Secretary of Labor, signed by 18 senators as follows.
I ask consent the reading of the names be waived.
Without objection.
I ask unanimous consent that the mandatory quorum calls for the cloture motions filed today, March 15th, be waived.
Without objection.
I ask unanimous consent that the Senate resume legislative session. There be a period of morning business with the senators permitted to speak therein for up to 10 minutes each.
Without objection.
Mr. President, I ask unanimous consent that the Senate now proceed to the en bloc consideration of the following Senate resolutions, which were submitted earlier today: Senate Res 110, Senate Res 111, Senate Res 112, Senate Res 113.
Is there objection to proceeding?
En bloc?
With en bloc.
Without objection, the Senate will proceed en bloc.
Without objection, the Senate will proceed en bloc.
I ask unanimous consent that the resolutions be agreed to, the preambles where applicable be agreed to, and that the motions to reconsider be considered made and laid upon the table, all en bloc.
With no objection.
Mr. President, I ask unanimous consent that when the Senate completes its business today, it adjourn until 10 a.m. Tuesday, March 16th. that following the prayer and pledge, the morning hour be deemed expired, the journal of proceedings be approved to date, the time for the two leaders be reserved for their use later in the day, and morning business be closed, and that upon consideration of morning business, the Senate proceed to executive session, resume consideration of the nomination of Isabella Guzman to be Administrator of the Small Business Administration. Further, that the cloture motion with respect to the Guzman nomination ripen at 12 noon. Finally, that the Senate recess following the cloture vote until 2:15 to allow for the weekly caucus meetings.
Without objection.
For information of the senators, we expect 3 roll call votes during Tuesday's session of the Senate in relation to the Guzman and Tai nominations. If there's no further business to come before the Senate, I ask the Senate stand adjourned under the previous order following the remarks of Senator Ernst.
Without objection.
Thank you, Mr. President. I yield the floor.
Mr. President.